Congratulations! I'm Amina Lutfi. I'm a professional organizer and I am passionate about wedding planning. Would you believe, you won't believe, all 3 of my children were married the same year. Not only that, I helped to organize all of those weddings, one of which was a destination wedding in Costa Rica. As a professional organizer, I learned a great deal about wedding planning. I'm going to share all of the details with you, the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the goods and the bads. I'm going to share every morsel with you. Stay tuned to the end because you could win a beautiful wedding journal that I personally designed. This segment is going to be on your guide to hiring a wedding professional. I have a lot of tips to share with you. I'm pretty excited to share all these wonderful tips with you. So, one of the most exciting things, or most, I should say, challenging things about getting married is finding the right wedding professional. So, I have some great tips for you, and I'm going to start sharing those tips with you. All right. So, however large or small your wedding may be, you want to have a few wedding professionals or a wedding professional, or you will be hiring wedding professionals along the way. So, few tips. It's critical that you take your time and follow some very simple steps that I'm going to give you. Number 1, you want to make sure that the wedding professional is quality. It will provide quality for you. Number 2, you want to make sure that the wedding professional is reputable. Number 3, you want to make sure, did I have my 3rd finger up? All right. So you want to make sure that the wedding professional is trustworthy. So those are the 3 critical areas you want to look at before you sign a contract. Okay, there's really no shortage of wedding professionals. There's lots of them around, so you can find them quite easily. The one thing you want to determine initially, of course, is do they provide your product and service that you're looking for? Number 2, and this is a big one. It may sound like it's a no-brainer. You want to make sure that your personalities match. You want to make sure that you get along with this particular professional that you hire, because if they're kind of high-strung and you're really laid back, or the opposite, then you could really, you're setting up a disaster possibly for your wedding, and you don't want that. You want your wedding day to go as smooth as possible. All right, so where do you look for these professionals? So I'm going to give you a few suggestions on where you can actually look for these professionals so you can get the right right professional to work with you. Bridal shows. I know that there are lots and lots of bridal shows around. You can actually go online and Google bridal shows, and you can sign up so that every time a bridal show is in your area, you will actually get an email. You go to these bridal shows, and there will be lots of professionals there who are looking for your business. So when you go to the bridal shows, you want to make sure you have a pen and paper, and you want to interview them. Just give them a little brief interview, find out what they do, and whether or not you're interested in them. If you determine that you'd like to get back with this particular, or you're interested in this particular professional, you can actually give them a call. Be sure and get their business card, and then call them a little later and get more information from them. So there are lots and lots of wedding professionals at bridal shows. So the next area that you can look into is ceremonies and your reception area. So let's say you've already signed the contract for where you're going to actually have the wedding or your reception. The individuals who are actually at the facilities can actually give you recommendations on other professionals that you may want to get in contact with that will help you to plan and prepare for your wedding. So again, that's wherever you are going to have your wedding or your reception, you can always talk with those individuals and ask them to give you some suggestions on some referrals. Friends and family. Now we know friends and family are going to be honest. They had an experience with a particular professional. It worked out really, really great, or it went south. They're going to be honest. So check with your friends and family and find out what their experience has been relative to hiring a wedding professional. Some of your friends may have gotten married recently, or maybe not so recent, and they hired a professional. They had a great experience with them, or maybe they didn't. So check with friends and family. They're always going to, I assure you, they're going to be honest and really give you the real deal. Okay, the next resource for looking for a wedding professional is the internet. We know the internet has tons and tons of resources relative to wedding professionals. You want to take your time, check out the wedding professionals that you may find on the internet, do a little interviewing with them, determine whether or not they will meet your needs, and ask for references. If they don't readily provide references, you want to definitely check out references and find out the pros and cons of what their strengths are and whether or not they're the wedding professional for you. All right, so local bride magazines. Local bride magazines are these little magazines that you may see. They're giveaways, actually, and you can find them in various locations. In those bridal magazines, there's going to be tons and tons, I assure you, of wedding professionals who are all vying for your business. Look in those bridal magazines and determine whether or not you want to contact a particular professional based on, the blurb that they've given for their advertisement. So that's another good resource. But this is what I want to suggest to you. This is what I want to say to you. Before you sign any contracts with any of the professionals that you are looking to do business with, always read over the contract. Read over the contract before you make a final decision. The other thing I want to say is I'm mentioning a contract here. Don't make this mistake. I'm going to share an experience with you. I was hiring a professional. It wasn't for a wedding. It was for something else. And I said to the professional, well, why don't you send me a contract? And so we can firm it up. We were actually doing an email. And the professional said to me, oh no, I'll just show up and then we'll go from there. I said, okay, you want to do it like that? You don't want to do it? You don't do written contract? Oh no, I don't do a written contract. Well, guess what happened? As it got close to the time for me to actually utilize this individual service, this professional service, she reached out to me and said, oh, on that particular day, I won't be able to make it, and I thought I could, and so on and so forth. You get the picture. So a written contract is binding. So you always want to get a written contract from a professional to make sure that you're on the same page as that professional. You want to make sure that you're in agreement with all the everything that they're going to perform for you, all of the duties that they're going to perform for you, all of the services. So don't let someone tell you, oh no, it's I'll just show up, or it's okay. No, hiring a professional is business. You're doing business with them, they're doing business with you, so you definitely want to have a written contract. In the written contract, it's going to have what's expected of that vendor, also times and dates and the particular product that they're going to provide for you. They're also going to spell out payment plan, the payment. There may be a payment plan. They may want a deposit. They may want money upon, when they finish the services. They may say, okay, you can pay me within a certain period of time. You always want to get all of that. That's the nice thing about having a written contract. It's all written out. The last thing is make sure you read and understand the contract. Any questions, call them up, ask them, would you please clarify this aspect of the contract? So that's pretty much what I have to share with you today. But I wanted to say, lastly, relative to hiring a wedding professional, is don't assume that because you've signed the contract with the vendor that they have an understanding of what your needs are. Again, I want to emphasize, if you have any questions at all, be sure and talk to that professional and find out exactly what it is that they offer, get any of your questions answered. And also, one last thing, it's not one-sided. You want to remember to be a good client. By being a good client, you might say, well, what do you mean, Amina, by being a good client? Being a good client means having the deposit when you're supposed to, when you agreed to have the deposit, having the final payment get to the service provider, to the wedding professional, when you agreed with in terms of the contract, when you signed the contract. And also making sure that you do everything in a timely manner, So that's it for my segment on hiring a wedding professional. I want to wish you endless love. I'm hoping this video was helpful. If so, like and subscribe. Check out the elegant jewelry and accessories for your wedding at my website, bridesjewelryshop.com. If you have any questions or any suggestions or any comments, I'd love to hear from you. For your chance to win one of my beautifully and personally designed wedding journals, simply comment below with your wedding date. I'm wishing you endless love. Bye-bye for now.